Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, what is purple tea? In this video, I'm going to be discussing the different types of purple tea and we're going to taste a couple of them. This video is going to go onto the Tea Masterclasses playlist. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. The more thumbs in the air, the more tea videos are going to come your way. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, then go click that button. Some of you may have already heard about purple tea. It's a relatively new phenomenon on the tea market, but certainly more and more tea sellers are starting to stock it. So what exactly is purple tea? Well, the first thing to say is that purple tea is not a new tea category. In other words, it's not going to be added to the other categories like whites, greens, oolongs, post-fermented teas, etc. Instead, all that purple tea means is that the material that is used is very high in anthocyanins. Now, anthocyanins are pigments which have a red-purple color, and they are found throughout nature. They're found in other medicinal herbs, sometimes in their flower heads. They're also found in fruits, like your superfruits, your blackberries, your blueberries, etc. They're found in plums. They're found in the skin of red grapes. In fact, anthocyanins contribute to the color of red wine. They're also found in vegetables like the skin of eggplants or aubergines. And anthocyanins are being researched currently because there's a lot of excitement about the potential health benefits of anthocyanins. So some of the purported health benefits include anti-cancer effect, and lowering cholesterol, anti-inflammatory, good for your heart health, good for cognitive function. There's lots of tests and clinical studies that are being done on anthocyanins, but as always, we have to be very careful making health claims because the facts aren't fully in. But it certainly seems to be true that drinking and eating foods that are rich in anthocyanins is certainly very good for you. But we're not going to focus on the health benefits today. Instead, we're going to briefly talk about the different types of purple tea, and we're going to taste a couple of them. So, purple tea. Why is it that the plant flushes with this purple pigment, these anthocyanins? Well, there are a group of varietals that naturally sprout purple, and there are what we call a reaction to environmental stresses. So other plants that normally sprout green leaves can start to flush purple, especially if they are undergoing a lot of stress from UV radiation. In other words, they're getting a lot of sun. Now, anthocyanins are a kind of sunscreen to plants, so they protect the plant from excessive damage due to UV radiation. So in the tropical forests of Yunnan, sometimes the Assamica, the classic large leaf cultivar, if it's getting too much sun, will start to flush purple leaves. And the producers will pick those purple leaves and either mix them with their pu'er tea, or sometimes, if they get enough of it, they will make special purple tea Zi Juan cakes. Now, purple tea that is picked in this way tends to be slightly milder, slightly sweeter, but it's very rare and comprises to maybe about 1% of the tea leaves that are picked in Yunnan province. So those are the Zi Juans, the purple teas that are due to the plants flushing because of environmental conditions. Then on the other side, you have varietals that just naturally sprout purple buds and purple leaves. There are a couple of them in China. One of them is the Zi Juan. The Zi Juan cultivar is a man-made cultivar. This was created, I think, around the 1990s, and it comes from crossing a Fujianese tea plant that was flushing purple with the Assamica in Yunnan, and it created this new cultivar. So it was created by the Sichuanbana, the Yunnan tea authorities, and it's on the market today as purple tea, Zi Juan tea. Now, I've tasted Zi Juan tea while I was in Yunnan province, and it's pleasant, it's nice. In my opinion, it tastes, for some reason, commercial. It tastes like it's an artificially created tea. Now, I don't mean that in any negative way. There are lots of cultivars that have been created artificially, as in they've been created by authorities rather than just natural hybridization in nature, and they can be great. But for some reason, this Zi Juan tea, it has a lovely color, it has a very beautiful purple color, and the liquor is a kind of pink hue, and it's very pretty, and it tastes flowery and it tastes sweet, but there's something that tastes very unnatural about it. There's something that tastes very lightweight about it. It doesn't have the depth that comes, I feel, from natural hybridization. So that's one type of purple tea that you may see on the market. The other one is from a wild varietal of purple tea. Some people call it Ye Sheng, which is just kind of a wild tea plant, which flushes purple buds and purple leaves. Now, these wild purple tea plants tend to come from Northern Yunnan, around the Dehong area, so close to Linsang area, so not really your classic Pu'er territory. I've got some purple buds here, so these buds are from this wilder varietal of purple flushing tea trees in Northern Yunnan province. And we're going to taste that tea in a little bit, just make sure I'm in focus here. Right. Before we taste this tea, which is a tea that we stock as purple bud or Zi Juan, we're going to taste this Kenyan purple tea, which I've never tasted before. So this has been sent to me very kindly by some Kenyan producers, and Kenya have been for the past 20 years trying to create this purple tea varietal. So a tea varietal that's very rich in anthocyanins. You can take a look at it. So it's being processed as a black tea. So you can see it doesn't look very purple, but supposedly when I brew it, after a little trick or two, it becomes purple. So let's give this a taste. So I've never tasted this. This is the first one for me. You can see that the leaf is broken. It's not full leaf, which is not something that I particularly like to see because it just means that the brew is probably going to be a little bit more sensitive to going bitter, but we're going to give it a taste. So I'm going to be brewing this because it's black tea and because it's relatively fine. I'm going to be brewing this just under boiling, something like around 95, 96 degrees, which is about 200 odd Fahrenheit. So here we go. I'm going to do it Gong Fu style. So I'm going to give it a little rinse first. Let's give it a smell. Smells slightly musty, a little bit sour and musty. Don't have too much hope for it right now, but let's give it a taste. So we're gonna let that brew just for a few seconds. I don't want to over brew it. I think that is probably enough. I put about 8 grams of the broken leaf, and this is a 180 ml glass teapot. Okay, my first time trying Kenyan purple tea. Let's first of all take a look at the color. Okay, so very different color to your usual black teas, you can see. It does have a kind of green purplish hue to it. So that kind of combination of green and purple, you know when you have asparagus and the asparagus just starts to develop a little bit of purple hue to it. Those are anthocyanins as well. Okay, let's give it a taste. It's a little bit cloudy, but that's probably because it's broken leaf. Let's give it a taste. It has a quite musty, stewed, bitter taste to it, to be honest with you. I'm not really enamored by this tea. It doesn't really have anything bright and floral or bright and aromatic about it. It's very dead in the glass. It feels very flat. Not great. Now, supposedly, I can increase the purple coloring by adding a few drops of lemon juice, I've been told. So let's give this a try. So I'm just going to add a couple of drops of lemon juice in. Oh yeah, that does change the color. Wow. So there's the magic trick. That makes it go a very beautiful pink purple hue. I very much doubt it's going to do much for the flavor, but that certainly is a beautiful magic trick. And that actually is the color of the Zi Juan. So if you ever get a hold of some Zi Juan tea from Yunnan province, it tends to brew to that color, this beautiful pink purple hue. Yeah, that just tastes like it's got a couple of drops of lemon juice in. So I'm getting the aromatics of the lemon, the citrus, but in fact the tea is even more lost, and all I'm getting is a kind of bitter, weak taste. So not a big fan of that, I have to say. Sorry about that, but that's the way it goes with tastings. I'm sure that there are people that will love it dearly. So instead now we're going to be tasting our own purple bud. So purple bud, as I said, comes from the wild cultivars that naturally sprout purple leaves. And this is from Dehong, which is in Northern Yunnan province. So I'm going to give it a little rinse. The smell coming hot off here. It's like pine and citrus. So I'm guessing there's a lot of pinene in this. And the flowery wood flowers, like forest flowers smell. It's beautiful and really represents the terroir of where it was picked. And I find that Linsang pu'ers tend to always have this lovely piney, bright notes with the wet wood flavoring, the wet wood flavors and aromas too. And that seems to be something that is very prevalent in the Northern Yunnan teas. So I'm gonna brew this for a little bit longer than you might expect because it's buds. Those buds are like armor plated, so it takes longer for the water to go in. I'm brewing at 95 degrees still, so just under boiling because I want to penetrate into those buds and get a good, flavorful and rich brew. I used 8 grams of purple bud to, I think this is about 150 to 180 ml Gai 1. So that should be enough. I tell you what I'll do. Instead of pouring this into the teacup, you should see the color of the tea. So I'm going to quickly rinse out this Kenyan purple tea down here, and we will pour this tea in here. Beautiful color. So take a look at the color here. So this is obviously more yellow. It's still got a slight purple hue to it though. You can definitely pick up those anthocyanins, those pigments are definitely transferring from the material, from the bud, into the tea cup, or in this case, the glass. The smell again is beautiful. You're getting spicy notes like camphor and this sour fruitiness to it. Not quite like a muscat. It's not as sweet as a muscatel, but it's definitely got the kind of sours of citrus and pine, that freshness of pine. You're getting wet earth and wet wood, but nothing too autumnal, nothing like a cooked pu'er tea. Let's give it a taste. Very soft, very clean, lovely sweet note to it. Now, if you were taking the leaves of this varietal, so this wild purple tea varietal, if you use the leaves, then they tend to be quite bitter. But the buds have a real sweetness and a softness to them. And it really represents terroir. More than most types of tea, I think that when you drink this purple bud, you really feel like you're walking through a hot, humid, tropical Yunnan forest. And when I go to Yunnan and you drive around, the smell that you get off this glass is exactly the same smell as you get when you open the window when you're driving through the the tea mountains of Yunnan. You open the window, or if when you're walking through the plantations, the smell that you get is exactly the same smell as you get here. So it really does represent the terroir of Yunnan province. It really is an unusual tea. It's got so much softness, but very high notes with the pine and that slight citrus spiciness. Then it's all underpinned with a foundation of a kind of wet, woody, humid forest flavor. And when you breathe through your nose, breathe out through your nose afterwards, you're getting a elderflower, elderberry, that slightly fermented elderflower taste, or aroma, I should say, coming through the nose. A really, really lovely tea. So those are purple teas. If you know of any other purple teas, then please put them in the comments below. But that's it, tea heads. If you made it to the end of this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. Check out our YouTube playlist and let us know if there are any videos that you would like us to make. If you're ever in London, then come visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, I'm Don May from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from the tea bags, keep drinking the good stuff, and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.